Is it time to panic when it comes to recruiting?
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie 5.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie 5, and we are ready to get after it and talk about Auburn recruiting, or I don't want to say lack thereof. Lack thereof commitments and what that means, why that's happening, and what to look forward to in the coming weeks and months. So we're going to jump into all that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to Rhoback.com. Got my Rhoback Auburn license hoodie on this morning. Use coupon code BUTTON20 to take 20% off your order. They got some great stuff. They got swimsuits. It is definitely pool season. They got polos, everything you can imagine. Getting ready for a vacation, you can get set up there at Rhoback.com. So definitely show them some love and save big. All right, let's jump into it. This time last year, okay, only it was a month. It was in July, not June. This time last year, this was official visit season. This is when Auburn really started to explode. And I know you can say, hey, that was July last year. You know, maybe we'll still have that July run. And I guess you could, but you remember they've changed the recruiting calendar, okay? So the month of July now, the whole month is a dead period. As a matter of fact, that dead period starts on Monday the 23rd. So next Monday in June throughout July will be a complete dead period. That means no visits on campus. That means no visits off campus. Kids could still commit. And it happens often that kids commit during dead periods. They can still call, they can still text, they can still talk like that. Just no in-person meetings. So you can think of June this year like you thought of July last year. That last summer push to really honestly, for Auburn last year, most of your class was kind of done before kickoff. And we talked to Alan Head, and we talked that we expected for Auburn to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 14 commits. And I'm going to be quite honest, I expected a lot more to happen over this last month. I think you only got one commitment. I think is a good one with Eric Perry, the quarterback that we're going to turn running back. But man, it's just been, you've gotten a ton of great visitors, a ton of very high caliber guys. It seems like there's five stars here almost every other day. A huge week. You had a lot of midweek visits leading up into the weekend. You had C.D. Morgan. You had Landon Duckworth return for a visit. And when we record this, who knows? A commitment could pop, but you don't seem to be having that July explosion that you had last year, this year. Remember, again, I know it's June, but the calendar's changed now. So June is essentially July of last year. You know, I completely thought that the vast majority of the quote unquote slowness, because you looked across the board and it was slow for everybody, was waiting on that impending NIL ruling, waiting on some semblance of structure, waiting on just a little bit of guidance on how to move forward. And I felt like as soon as that were to go down, that you might start seeing a pickup in activity, commitments for everybody, that including Auburn. And honestly, you've seen other schools pick up commitments. You've started to see people. It's exactly what I thought for other schools. I mean, Georgia went from, in a month's time, from having, I think, either the exact same amount of commits or maybe less than Auburn. Auburn has 7. I think they had somewhere around 6 or 7 commits a little over a month ago, and they're up to 17 commits now. They've gone on an absolute tear. You've seen Texas A&M start picking up a lot of commitments. A lot of these SEC schools, you're starting to see. LSU picked up a few commitments. Florida has gone on a little bit of a run. Florida Florida landed Marquez Daniels from Tuskegee, from Booker T. Washington, Tuskegee High School here. Not Tuskegee High School, Booker T. Washington High School in Tuskegee, just right down the road from Auburn. 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver that Auburn really, really liked. It seems like the ruling has kind of given some guidance to other teams, but Auburn is still sort of right where you started, basically, right in the same spot. So I completely whiffed on that one. I completely whiffed on the idea that was probably the main thing that was holding Auburn back. And now that you see the ruling come and go, and now that you see other schools starting to sort of pick up steam on the recruiting trail in Auburn, again, it could just be that they're keeping a lot of things close to the vest. They're keeping a lot of things from getting out, and they could have some guys pop. For the first time in many, many years, it's really hard to see exactly who that's going to be. But it seems like Auburn is struggling right now on the recruiting trail. And again, it's clear it's not the NIL ruling anymore. That only leaves one other thing. And again, this doesn't have to be fatalistic, but it seems like kids are waiting to see what Auburn's going to do on the field. It seems like kids are going to be patient with Auburn. And Auburn's going to be patient at the same time and not go out and have to overpay to get kids in the boat right now. Go overpay for commitments that, hey, if you can go through those first 4 or 5 games and look really good, maybe you ease any questions, you answer any questions, ease the minds of some of these recruits that are just right there on the edge, but they just want to see when it comes to Auburn. And I think there's a pile of them. I really do. I mean, you had 5-star safety Braylon Womack who came in and basically gave Auburn all the glory. Best visit that I've had. Auburn's been sort of perceived right there neck and neck with Ohio State. You got the location, proximity to home in your corner, and it feels like Auburn could, grab that one, but you're still having to wait, not ready to commit. And again, when I'm recording this, by the time you listen to this, who knows? You could announce a commitment, but I just don't see it at this point in time. I don't think that has to be the end of the world, because I do think Auburn's going to be good this year. I think if you can win that first game, you can go on a little run and build some hype. And I really, truly believe that's the only thing that's really keeping Auburn, this class, from being a very, very good class. I don't think, if you follow recruiting at all, commitments don't really mean a ton. They're good to have, but clearly none of it is permanent. Clearly none of it is automatic. If you get a commit, you still got to recruit the commit. You've seen it, and we're going to talk about it here later in the show. You get a commit, the recruitment of that child is not done. You're gonna have to continue to work on them to keep them. So I think flip season is going to be way more important than commit season this year. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to, I guess, me. Let's give a shout out to me. How about that? Yeah, if you need a good real estate in the Auburn, Opelika area, definitely give me a shout. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can email me at krush@thekeyAgency.realestate. Whether you're moving here, moving away, looking to build, looking to buy land, whatever it is, I can help you. Or just looking to invest. A lot of good stuff that you can look at to possibly invest in the area. Get ready, get something on board, get for football season, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'd love to help you and your family out. So give me a shout. Yeah, we'll be back right after this. Flip season, I think, is going to be vastly more important, more impactful on this class than commit season. Right now is commit season. And let's just be honest. Auburn has had a pile of visits, and you got 7 commits. I don't really expect this huge July run in a dead period. Yeah, you may pick up a couple here or there, but it does seem like the vast majority of the kids are in a wait and see, just completely in a wait and see. So, I mean, not only are your official visits basically done, but you don't really get a chance to talk to anybody in person all the way up until the season. So it's just going to be a long, long time now before I feel like Auburn can really put something on the field and really go on a run. It doesn't mean that has to be dire, though. I think flips, it seems like they increase year over year, every single year. I mean, almost half of Auburn's class last year were flips. And I think that's going to be the trend moving forward. And it makes sense from a recruit standpoint. If you're a recruit, why would you not want to lock in early so you know you got a spot? Lock in early. You know you got a spot. You know kind of what your deal would be. And then, hey, go out there and shop. Go out there and see what's out there. You may find someone in a little bit of a more desperate spot. You may find a better situation. And if not, you still got your spot that you had. Why not? It's almost, I hate to say it from a fan perspective, it stinks, but from a recruit perspective, it's almost irresponsible not to. You're almost not looking out for your best interests if you don't go ahead and jump on a commitment early and then see what's out there. I think that's just going to be the trend. So when you're looking at people committing elsewhere, that is not the end of the journey. That is not the end of that recruitment of Auburn and that kid, Marquez Daniels. Auburn's not stopping recruiting that kid. C.D. Morgan, he's probably going to commit to Alabama. Auburn's not going to stop recruiting that kid. That doesn't mean Auburn's going to eventually flip them, but if Auburn were to show something on the field that looks like a program moving in the right direction, you got a really good shot at maybe flipping some of those names. A really good shot at pulling in some guys that are right there on the edge, but it's, hey, just show me, man. Just show me. We keep talking about it, and I believe you, but I want to see it. I want to come to Auburn. I want to be a part of this, but I just want to see it. And if you have any faith in the on the field product this year, possibly preseason 3 first round picks in the NFL draft. a much better offensive line in theory and on paper. You feel like you got a better quarterback room. You feel like the wide receiver room is just one of the best in the country. Defense, you feel solid about defense because you had a bunch of young guys perform last year at an incredibly high level, and most of those guys are back. And you brought back DJ Durkin. So you feel okay as a whole on defense. And then you've, at least on paper again, you've fixed a lot of the perceived deficiencies last year on offense. So if you have any faith that Auburn can be better this year on offense, I think they can be better as a whole, and that could potentially project Auburn into the lead with a lot of these guys, put themselves in a position to flip a lot of these guys. Flip season is going to have a lot more action than commit season. You're probably going to have to, I would say, after all is said and done, if Auburn comes out hot and if Auburn wins, somewhere in that 9-game range and they look good doing it, I would say probably half your commits or more. I say more than half your commits will probably be flips. That's really the only pathway at this point in time if you want to have another top 10 class. It's going to have to come from flips. So it's not the end of the world. So I said, is it time to panic? I don't really think it's time to panic yet. If Auburn drops that first game, if Auburn starts off 2-2 through the first 4, it could be rough sledding, tough sledding. It could be a rough go as far as recruiting goes. It's just going to be really hard to continue to sell a vision without anything produced on the field. But again, if you feel like I do about the season, could be a lot of fireworks as far as flips go as the year goes on. We talked about it earlier. There were some commits that were quote unquote reaffirmed. I mean, which is very common now where you get a kid. We just talked about it. You get a kid that commits early. They look elsewhere and then they're like, okay, I'm good. I'm good with Auburn. Y'all were the best spot for me. And I'll tell you what, even a reaffirmation in June doesn't make you feel all the way great, but still, it's good that these kids have gone and visited elsewhere and they still feel like Auburn's the best spot. One of Auburn's best commits, Devin Carter, said he's locked in after this visit. Devin Carter, I think he's some type of legacy to Florida State, and I think there was a lot of information out there that he was very, very well could have been trending towards Florida State. He comes in on an official this past weekend and feels like Auburn locks him down. So going to be a long way to go there, but Devin Carter is an electric wide receiver that I don't think we're really talking about enough. But as of now, you feel locked in, and that feels good. That feels good before you go into this dead period. And I think Auburn got his last official visit. So they really loves Deuce Knight. That's why that Deuce Knight commitment was so important. It was marketing for that 2025 class, and it also is marketing for the 2026 class because they know more than likely, especially wide receivers, they're going to be catching passes from the guy in front of them, the class in front of them versus the guy that's with them, the guy that may come with them. Now, I'm sure they'd love it if Auburn were to get a Landon Duckworth too, but they're really locked in on Deuce Knight. So Devin Carter reaffirms. Denarius Gray has been another one that he's been committed for so long. I think he was the first commitment of this class. And the odds of those guys just sticking is just so low these days. And there's been dudes coming after him left and right. There's been programs coming after him left and right. I know Miami really likes him. Ohio State really likes him. A lot of your big name, insert big name schools, Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M, all these guys have offered him and have come after him. But he feels good about his commitment. So that feels good. And then I think the big one, and this one isn't always This one isn't 100%, I guess, all the way reaffirmed, but you feel a lot better about Shadarius Tootle. He did exactly what you're supposed to do in high school recruitment. He went and visited everywhere. I mean, he's gone. They have left no stone unturned. Have even visited Baylor, Auburn's first opponent this year. Went on official to Georgia. Georgia really likes him. Came out, I think he even may have said in an interview that Georgia was his number one. I think obviously maybe got wrapped up in the visit and the excitement a little bit. But he came in with his whole family. You saw his dad. If you're on Auburn Twitter at all, his dad's awesome. He has the Auburn jackets. He has jackets for everybody. So he has jackets for every school he goes to, but he brought the whole plethora, the navy, the white, and the orange jacket this weekend. And he left saying that he felt like Auburn was back as his, back where he thought they would be, back on top. And he'd figure things out over the next week and shut things down. So that's good. You feel good about those three because those are three of your top commits, and you only have 7, and those are 3 of them that were at least, I don't want to say 100% trending elsewhere, but we're at least having the door open, listening to other schools, and you feel a lot better about those guys. So is it time to panic? I don't think so. I don't think we're there yet. It's not fun. It's you see other people landing commits and you kind of feel left out in the conversation, and you're starting to, I don't know. And it's easy to kind of spiral and go super negative. But again, I really think winning cures all. Winning solves all the problems. And on the flip side, if you don't win, you're going to have a whole mess of problems. So I still think Auburn probably picks up a few commitments over the next, 6 or 7 weeks. I guess maybe 8 to 10 weeks leading up to kickoff. But they got some work to do. They got some work to do on the field to make this thing happen, turn this thing around. If they want to be a top 10 class, which I think that's the goal every single year, to be a top 10 class. So let me know what you think. Are you panicking? Are you concerned? Regardless, you're still going to, I just think you're going to have to win football games. So guys, I really appreciate you listening. Hope you had a great Father's Day for all the fathers out there. We're going to be back at it every single day this week. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.